Well, here's the gun show loophole. This is the concept. Okay, there's a gun show down at the fairgrounds. I'm not in the business of selling firearms. I'm just a humble, small-town lawyer. So I go down to the fairgrounds, and I take some guns. I'm going to sell them at the gun show. My customer there may be a felon. He may be mentally ill. I don't have to do the background check. So the loophole is, well, if I'm a felon, or if I'm mentally ill or otherwise disqualified from owning weapons, well, let me go to the gun show and I will buy some guns from people who aren't in the business of firearms and they're not required to do a background check. That's the concept. That's the gun show loophole. That's all it is. Now, of course, some of you are thinking, well, that person who wanted to buy the gun without the background check, he could just buy the gun on Craigslist or a garage show or buy it from his friends. He doesn't have to go to a gun show. And the answer to that is yes, that's correct. And the other thing is, practically speaking, the vast majority of the sellers of firearms at gun shows are people who are in that business. You'll see some stats out there that will say half of the vendors at the average gun show don't have the FFL or Federal Firearms License. Well, what they neglect to say is that there's a lot of vendors at gun shows that don't sell guns. They sell beef jerky and holsters and, sleeping bags, whatever. But that's the gun show loophole. That's all it is. This concept that if you're a private seller, just occasional seller in your own state, don't have to do the background check. And if people that vilify or are afraid or want to outlaw the gun shows, they have this idea that the gun shows are a place where people can gather to buy guns to avoid the background check. High capacity magazine. A magazine is basically a box that's a container for a bunch of rounds. And how it goes, typically it's a cylinder or a rectangle, it's got a spring. One round gets shot, the spring will push the next round up. That's basically what a magazine is. A high capacity magazine has been defined by Congress and others to be more than 10 rounds. They call it high capacity. This gun right here is a Glock with the high capacity magazine of 33 9mm rounds. And that's what the Tucson shooter used. He used this. Okay. This is a 30-round 223, which is the magazine for the typical AR-15 civilian assault rifle. David Gregory here, while he was in the District of Columbia, brandished this high-capacity magazine, which is illegal in D.C. But the laws are for the little people nowadays, it seems like, right? But anyway, that's a magazine. The assault weapons ban, a little bit more complicated. This was a 10-year ban that started in 1994 and expired in 2004. Assault weapon sounds really bad. What is an assault weapon? Well, there's two definitions. First of all, Congress listed some specific weapons that they're going to call assault weapon. Okay, the AR-15, the Tech-9, that was the gun that the guys used in Columbine. They had a Tech-9. AK-47 and a Uzi. These guns, Congress said, these are assault weapons and these are banned. And it also banned other semi-automatic weapons that had the cosmetic features of automatic weapons. And that really means what it means. They look like a scary gun. Congress called it an assault weapon. So for example, a rifle. Semi-automatic rifle with two or more of the following characteristics, we're going to call it an assault weapon. A folding or a telescoping stock, pistol grip, the bayonet mount, flash suppressor, or grenade launcher. That is an assault. I mean, you gotta say, you could do some major assaulting with the grenade launcher. But look at this result. Okay, here's a weapon that's a 22 caliber semi-automatic 10-round rifle. I think that's the Ruger 1022, is that what it's called? Yeah. But it's got a wooden stock, and it looks like a normal weapon that you might give a 12-year-old to shoot cans with or something. Here's a 22 caliber semi-automatic 10-round rifle that looks scarier because it's black. But the key is, though, these have some of the cosmetic characteristics that under the assault weapons ban means this is an assault weapon. This wooden one here is not an assault weapon. This one is. Why? Because it has the collapsible stock, and it's got the pistol grip, and I can't tell if that's a flash suppressor or not, but it might have that also. Okay? So it's the exact same gun. It probably shoots the bullets at the same speed and all that. But one of them is an assault weapon under this assault weapons ban, and one of them is not. With pistols, similar thing. They had a magazine attached, a threaded barrel that you could put a silencer on, a barrel shroud, or the pistol weighed more than 50 ounces. Or this is the curious one, a pistol that was a semi-automatic version of a fully automatic gun. That also is an assault weapon. Okay. That's the assault weapons ban. So we had the specifically defined weapons, and then we had the cosmetic attributes that can also make you an assault weapon. And so when people are talking about reviving the assault weapons ban, that's what they're talking about. They will probably list, I mean, Dianne Feinstein's latest announcement about it was she was going to expand the list to 120 specific firearms that would be prohibited. And then presumably, in addition to that, there would be a list of characteristics that would also make a gun bad or an assault weapon. It's not available. Okay. So bringing it all together, back to Heller. Would the assault weapons ban survive now? Because remember, the assault weapons ban was 1994. That was before we knew what Scalia had said in the District of Columbia versus Heller case. Now it's 2013. Heller's been around for 5 years. Would it survive? Well, let's look. Here's what Heller held. Second Amendment is an individual right. You don't have to be in the militia. You can use guns for traditional purposes. A total ban on handguns is not allowed. And a requirement that the guns be rendered inoperable in the home is not allowed. But Heller did say that limitations on weapons that are not in common use is okay. Here's what Heller did not say. It never said you get to have an AR-15. It doesn't say that you get to have an assault weapon. It doesn't say you get a collapsible stock or a pistol grip or a flash suppressor or any of that kind of stuff. In fact, Heller seems to say the opposite. Heller seems to say, actually, in dicta in that paragraph, remember I pointed out, that restrictions and qualifications on sale, that's going to be fine under the Second Amendment. What you can't do is a total ban on handguns. That we know. Can you do things like restrict the barrel length? Yeah. Could you do things like say that you can't sell a gun with the pistol grip or can't sell a gun with the flash suppressor? Probably, yeah. So I think the answer to your question, would the assault weapons ban survive today? I think the answer is yes. I think it would. So if Congress decides to do gun control like they've done in the past, the Supreme Court is not going to strike that stuff down as unconstitutional because it's not a total ban.